Hello everyone, I'm Linda Kay and welcome to Imprint Within. This channel's focus is on health, wellness, healing, and wisdom for information and guidance so that the best decision for your well-being can be made. If you are new to this channel, I am a healthcare practitioner with a background in massage therapy, skincare, body energy therapies, and injury rehabilitation. So all information will be coming from that viewpoint, unless otherwise noted. And remember that all information in this segment is for entertainment purposes only. If you seek additional knowledge, please be sure to contact a professional in the field you are seeking information before taking a course of action. I am currently enjoying spring break in sunny Florida, and recently we all experienced the spring equinox. Now, springtime is known to be a point of renewal, rebirth, reevaluation, and allowing things to become new again. It's an occasion when the trees regrow their leaves and plants allow flowers to bloom. Spring is also a moment when humans revitalize and rejuvenate by contemplating what's next and taking action to implement something different. So that got me thinking about life lessons and life purposes that change as the years go by. Recently, I was talking with a good friend about her 30-something-year-old son and his lifelong mental challenges. In the conversation, my friend brought up the thought of what life lessons she was supposed to be learning from this situation with her son and the toll it was taking on her. Her comment sparked reflection on my own life lessons, which I will mention at the end of this segment, as well as those that are projected in a public forum through various media outlets on people that are well known. So I decided to look at some popular people that are going through some very public life lessons and see what the collective can learn from these experiences through a video series I'm calling Wisdom, Learning Life Lessons. Now, one of the most prominent people in the media currently is actor-musician Jeremy Renner, regarding his healing process after experiencing traumatic injuries from a snowplow incident that happened on January 1st in 2023. At this moment, you can Google his name, and a plethora of information is easily at your disposal. And it is amazing to see the overwhelming demand he now has because of his injuries and recuperation. But for me, the interest wasn't in the actor fighting this dilemma. No, it was more the person who took it upon himself to flourish in a positive manner. And that led to healing his various wounds at an astonishing rate. Now, I have to admit that before his accident occurred, I had heard the name Jeremy Renner from time to time from some entertainment media sources, but didn't really know of him as an actor, since he portrayed characters in movies and television programming I would not particularly gravitate to. So I wasn't intrigued with him until I saw the Diane Sawyer special that aired sometime in April of 2023. Where you could visibly see how well he was recuperating. As a licensed massage therapist and healing arts practitioner, I found his recovery astonishing, since I have clients that have injuries from days of old that are still menacing them today. So I started to wonder, what is the magic that is happening here? Unfortunately, I was not able to get a personal response to this question, since I like to fact-check before talking about a topic. However, if Mr. Renner is interested in pursuing the life lessons and life purpose topic further, he can contact me at imprintwithin@gmail.com. For the purposes of today's video, I will use media coverage of only what Jeremy stated as to be true. So let's start. "I'll never have another bad day the rest of my life" was vocalized by Jeremy Renner to Diane Sawyer during her April 2023 interview at Mr. Renner's Los Angeles home. That is quite an insightful statement. For most people, physical injuries are found to be extremely taxing on a person's well-being as they adjust to their particular circumstances. They tend to become lethargic and cautious with any physical movement they undertake, but not so in Mr. Renner's case. One of the first things you see him doing is moving around his house on a leg support scooter at lightning speed, regardless how many human congestion points there were that was active in the location. He professed an attitude of "nothing can keep me down," as various camera angles showed him with Dr. Christopher Vincent, a sports physician, assisting him with various stretches and exercise movements. Another relevant comment Jeremy made during this interview was, "Transform your suffering into strength." Now, from a healing arts perspective, my first thought about this statement was how enlightened this particular person is to be making such a profound statement. The average Joe would not be this transformed. Of course, I do not know Mr. Renner on a personal level, and he may think or may not think of himself as enlightened. But as a practitioner who deals with intention on a daily basis, I wondered if he had always been this aware, or was this part of the new person emerging from this incident? In a podcast interview by Ellen Kay at KOST 1035 Radio on January 2nd of 2024, the first comment Jeremy made was, "Feeling good. New day, new year, new breath, new step. Pretty amazing. Lots to celebrate." During Mr. Renner's year-long recuperation, he was able to collaborate with various friends on recording a journal of recovery by producing a musical diary. Love in Titanium is where he was able to vocally express his feelings, emotions, thoughts, and ideas. And much of it is dedicated to his 10-year-old daughter, Ava, who has been a great inspiration for him to recover. Now, because Ava is a minor, I am not going to comment on anything else pertaining to her, but I would like to say she is definitely a blessing in disguise for him. And I do hope their father-daughter relationship blossoms more deeply as the years progress. Now, I have listened to this particular selection of musical work, and I found the revealing lyrics heartfelt, especially for the person he is, not the actor. The collection is extremely therapeutic and exposes his vulnerability to this experience. His music is filled with enormous passion, and at times he definitely wears his heart on his sleeve. As a practitioner who uses music as a healing tool, I now realize why he was able to speed up the healing process as he released pent-up emotions so passionately. Bravo to you, Mr. Renner, a healing tool well used. As he stated to Ellen Kay, "This one is a musical diary, you know, a journal entry and kind of healing, cathartic for me. And I'm sharing it because I think a lot of people were on this journey with me in this recovery." And so it is true, a lot of people were on this journey with him. Just go on YouTube and see all the dedication channels that pop up under his name. Now, as a healthcare practitioner, I listened to the entire 911 call that was made by Jeremy's Nevada neighbor, Rich Kovich, and I have to say it is definitely cringeworthy. Even though I already knew the positive outcome, waiting for EMS to arrive and hearing Mr. Renner in the background, from time to time, I did wonder if he would stop breathing. Under the circumstances of the day and the snow that had accumulated in that area, EMS got to their destination as quickly as they could. But the 21-minute wait was nail-biting, and I commend everyone involved, from the neighbors, the Renner family, the EMS, the teleport crew, the doctors, the hospital staff, and Mr. Renner himself. It was truly a team effort. As Jeremy stated to Ellen Kay, the goodwill that was put out, that was part of my recovery was all about. It took everything. It took everything for it to happen. And so he continues to recover and become stronger. He is now back working on projects and making sound decisions for his future. And as for life's lessons, Jeremy currently reminds me of the breaking through of a chrysalis as the caterpillar now changes into a butterfly. With what beauty will transform from this newfound perception? And what avenues of wisdom have opened for excellence and brilliance to emerge? Time will tell. If we took a look at his injuries, there are many things to take into consideration as the healing process progresses into the future. First, we need to look at his head injury. The head is never a good place for blunt force to be impacted, and in this case, the injuries were severe enough for reconstruction to be implemented. Unfortunately, severe head trauma symptoms do not always surface immediately, and with time, new signs of distress can develop, as well as linger for years to come. Next, we should look at the trauma inflicted on his torso, which also had to be reconstructed. This is the area that houses vital organs, which may have been bruised or damaged, and they now are realigned within a new structure. As for Mr. Renner ages, there may be concerns in how these organs are managing in his changing body structure. Lastly, he experienced lower extremity trauma that was also reconstructed. Although the lower extremity injuries are more physically related, aging will also have a factor in future performance. Jeremy has been posting on public media platforms his exercise routines and strength training, which are currently assisting in his endurance levels. And hopefully, he will not overdo these various training techniques, possibly causing needless damage. Although he may portray a superhero as an actor, his physical body is not particularly built, or in his case, reconstructed to be a superhero in reality. This is something I have seen in my clients who may have had either a hip or a knee replacement, and then they blow it out by overdoing their sports or exercise. So that's the physical considerations that need to be monitored. But then in February of 2024, during a podcast with James Corden, Mr. Renner mentioned having an NDE or near-death experience. This now moves his injuries into the mental, emotional, spiritual realm. During this podcast, he mentioned dying momentarily and having an experience he called glorious. He also talked about the night terrors he has hearing the sound of his bones being crushed by the snowcat. Now, of course, I am not a doctor, but as a healthcare practitioner, I would definitely be suggesting counseling with a professional so that he can better understand what he has experienced and how it is affecting his daily life. This is a form of PTSD and should be addressed. Mr. Renner has thankfully survived conditions that are extraordinary, and as a practitioner, I wish him all the best. And I look forward to our roads crossing one day. At this time, I want to take a quick look at some oracle cards to see what possibilities lay ahead for Jeremy. This is the Life Purpose Oracle deck. So let's see what might be in his future after having this traumatic event. Okay, the card I picked was Spiritual Teacher. You heal with your classes, sessions, and seminars. So here's the card that I selected. So it looks like in the future, Mr. Renner is going to be a spiritual teacher to many people along the way, from his experience and from the healing of his injuries. I'm also going to pull a card from the Crystal Angels deck too, because I'd like to see what kind of crystal would pop up for Mr. Renner in this particular case. Well, you just can't make this stuff up. The card that I picked is called Titanium Rainbow quartz. It's multifaceted, and the message says there are many layers and dimensions to this situation or person you are asking about. There it is, titanium rainbow quartz. So, as for myself, I also went through a traumatic occurrence last year when I unexpectedly fell from some stairs and broke my hip. Not as extensive as Mr. Renner's journey, but nonetheless eye-opening, reflective, action-oriented into new directions. I now look at the world through different eyes, and I am more self-aware of my limitations. I also now have to stop and think before moving headstrong into something I would not have given a second thought to before. It's all a part of growth and moving into a better direction and creating a better world. And love, sharing lots of love to those who are significant in my world and in my new world, where my heart is open and sending out an infinite, everlasting river of love. That's the wisdom that came my way. So what are your life lessons, and how are they motivating you to make the world a better place? As Dr. Whimsy Anderson states on her YouTube channel, it's all about creating heaven on earth. So what does your earth heaven look like? And what lessons have you learned that lead you in that direction? We all have an imprint within. Leave a comment. And remember to be kind. I'm Linda Kay, Imprint Within. Until the next time.